Hello Aries and welcome to my channel Green Line Goddess Tarot. This is your weekly reading and this week we have a big eclipse happening. A new moon in Scorpio at 2 degrees of Scorpio, and it's a dark moon, so it's a new moon and it's a time to be kind of thinking about, I think that planting seeds for the next cycle will be coming out of this. It might not necessarily happen all the time, or you might not necessarily be aware of it, but then again you might be. And this new moon is also a partial solar eclipse. So eclipses bring about change, which is exactly, interestingly, the card that you got, the Wheel of Fortune, is saying the situation is about change, but this is also Jupiter, which represents expansion, wanting to expand something in your life and let it grow. And it's kind of interesting because Jupiter is in Aries, but it's going to be going retrograding back into Pisces as well. And that will be occurring at the end of the week. So this energy is interesting because this new moon is conjunct Venus, and Venus is pretty uncomfortable in this space because Scorpio is actually, we have moved into Scorpio season, so we would have for this reading. And so the Scorpio energy is ruled traditionally by Mars, which is also your traditional ruler. So you've got that in common, that sense that even though it's a water sign, that passion, that, drive, that wanting to do something, kind of fairly motivated and intense energy, just in different ways. And so you've got that combination, but Venus is in there conjunct all of this in the new moon, in the darkness, going, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable. And Venus is the planet that rules your love language, your love life, how you love, your self-worth, your values, and your resources, so money as well. So she's learning a lot about herself. This Venus energy is coming in. And so it's a matter of learning a lot about relationships, how you are in relationships, in particular to do with issues to do with power and control. So that's what's coming up. So something is being expanded. You might be learning a lot and that issue might be expanded, but it also may be that you're wanting to expand and grow something within your resources or your love, your relationships. So let's see what's the higher potential that is coming through with all of this, Aries. Let's see the higher potential. Ooh, we've got the High Priestess. We love it. Intuition and sacred knowledge. Wow. So this could be a time where it feels like your intuition is just fully expanded with Jupiter there, and that you're just receiving so much knowledge. This is really amazing with the High Priestess. It's interesting because the High Priestess reveals things as well, and potentially, because Pluto is also the other planetary ruler of this new moon. Pluto is the modern day ruler of Scorpio. Pluto is the planet of the underworld, and Scorpio is also the sign of secrets being revealed or things being brought up under the surface. It can go into some deep emotions or deep psychology. So this is why I think you're going to feel a real shift in the intensity of the energy coming through. All of this stuff could be brought up and could be highlighted and expanded with the Wheel of Fortune, but it does want to change. It wants to bring about some kind of transformation and change, but this is kind of the start of the journey here. So trust your intuition. Your intuition might be on fire. You just might be learning so many new things about yourself, about your relationships, about what lies beneath the surface. So there is a potential for to find out a lot of things, some interesting things. So speaking of the shadow, let's pull some cards for the shadow and see what lies beneath here when it comes to this energy that's coming in for you, Aries. So let's see. So it's interesting because you might get this real sense of just a deep internal shift that's coming in with your perception of things. And it's kind of like what they're showing me is kind of like a big, huge liner that feels like it's just shifting slowly. And it's like you haven't quite started the next journey, hasn't fully shifted and it's moving off, but it's this sense of, I understand we're changing direction here. Something deep internally is shifting. So yeah, interesting. Let's see what's happening in the shadow, what's happening deep down with this, Aries. So we're just going to investigate this a little bit differently. Oh, the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so this could definitely be to do with resources. Look at that pile of pentacles that we've got there. And the Scorpio energy is very reliable, like it wants to pay its bills on time. It's all about monthly expenses and bills and weekly, regular things that you have to pay. You've got to pay your rent, or you've got to pay a mortgage, or you've got to pay electricity bill, or you've got to buy food, whatever it is, it's about your weekly expenses that come through. But it can also be to do with wage, like money, regular money that's coming through as well. So that's something that could come with this. But the Nine of Pentacles is also, so that's something you might be working on, that Venus might be looking at in that shadow going, okay, I'm looking at the resources and how this is working for me. But the Nine of Pentacles is actually a really nice energy because it's a very self-sufficient energy. This is independent, working independently, being very self-sufficient, financial freedom. These can be some themes that are coming in around it, and can be looking at how those sort of power dynamics have been working in terms of money and financial freedom within your life and even within relationships. So it's got a potential to transform that, which is really great. And so the Nine of Pentacles is also just being happy in your own skin. It's a very, like I said, independent energy. So sometimes it represents people being single, like just looking at the dynamics of, if you are single, how happy are you just within your own skin, or how much have you needed to rely or wanted to rely on somebody else or have somebody else there? It's actually a very complex energy. It's not like there's one thing that's really right and one thing that's really wrong. It's like it's all just jumbled up, and we're like just learning a lot about the dynamics. So, but yeah, this could be you are just finding out a lot about, if you are single, about what that means to you and what it's like to be stepping into your own skin, into your own power, and just sitting with that. And there's a lot of sacred knowledge and intuition that's coming in around that. So definitely I feel like this is actually a really lovely energy, in that it's kind of like how do I assert myself in relationships, and how happy am I in my own skin? So challenges coming in for this. We've got Pentacle Queen, Capricorn Throne. So the Pentacle Queen is very much nurturing stability, very much wants to nurture stability. So it's like, if I've got regular money coming in, I want to nurture it. I want to make sure that I'm creating a stable world internally, a stable home for me and the people around me. She just wants to nurture stability in some way. So there might actually be challenge. It might actually feel like there's challenges around that, or this is something that's come up that has been looked at, that has been a challenge in your life. So it might just be that it might feel like there's a little bit of instability around with this, because it is an eclipse energy. So it is a changeable energy. But let's look at what's coming in that's going to support this energy and make it easier for you. Yes. Okay. Moon Scorpio. So in general, this moon in Scorpio is going to want to make things easier for you and to illuminate and show you the start of a deep truth that can show you how to transform either your resources or your money. Your love relationships coming in. So the things that are helping you here is this Cup 7 is understanding that new options are opening up. The picture is yet forming, though. It's like you're shifting the choices that you're making here around resources and how power dynamics are working with money and love and all that sort of stuff. But it's also understanding that you don't have to know necessarily all the hows. You don't have to necessarily know the full path and the direction here, because the Cup 7 can often be where things are still clouded, but that's actually what's helping you in a way. This is the energy that's helping you, is opening you up to new options and just sitting with it and going, okay, some of them are good and some choices are good and some are not so good. But I don't have to necessarily know everything right at this minute. I just need to know that I'm making different choices or looking at different options. So that's something that's coming through with it. Okay, so let's pull a message from the fairies, from the fairies for you, Aries. We've got the Singer of the Chalice. Look at that. Be open to receive. Beautiful. The chalice is like a big goblet of love and healing that comes through. It's like, be open to receive this beautiful high vibrational energy that is potential for this. And we've got the Lawn, which is interesting because this fairy, you can see she's having a moment of quiet rest and reflection, but she's been through a storm. You can see her feathers are damaged. So it's about the energies that you've been through. She's been through a storm, but now she can rest and now she can be open to the healing and the love. And so it's a beautiful energy to come through. And repair, there's an energy of deep rest and recovery and repair, that it's the start of that journey. So that's a beautiful energy to come through. And I want to pull an animal spirit energy as well. Interestingly, the starfish was there hiding. Was there again? There's this sort of energy of hidden things, and this came out as well, and it kind of slipped out underneath the surface. So it's just the way things are being revealed are kind of fascinating. But the starfish is all about your own uniqueness, and it's about what's shining within your emotions here. Your own inner contentedness, your own inner joy, and those unique things that can bring you that joy, which is really beautiful. So that's something that's coming through. We also have something that slid out was dragonfly, which is messages from spirit coming through, and they can just be little light touches to your consciousness, but little messages are coming through that could potentially precipitate a new cycle, and there's a longer distance to this. It might be like a 2-year cycle that's coming in around this, but these things that are starting now, these little messages that are coming through could be really important. So that's a beautiful energy to come in. So that's your reading for the week, Aries. That's it. Thanks so much for joining me. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Love to read your comments. And if you're interested in any of my services, the link for that is in the description box below. And yeah, please take care.